Stephen Wilson Jr. joining us here in our tiny house sessions. We are so privileged to have you here playing for us. Billy, off of your Son of Dad release 2023, I guess, when that one came out?
Yeah, September of 2023. Barely 23, but still there.
Yeah. And I guess a lot has happened for you since that album came out.
Yeah, it's kind of changed my life completely.
Yeah.
I was just a songwriter putting out a record, and before that I was a scientist that became a songwriter, and a lot has changed in the past 10 years.
Yeah, I was kind of obviously reading up and listening to interviews and things to get to know you a little bit. I guess you dub yourself formerly a boxer, golden glove holder, then a recovering microbiologist. Is that your term?
Yeah.
And now a song scientist.
Yeah, I think all the worlds finally collided into their, the most obvious conclusion. And yeah.
Well, I got to say, with the Penguin, the radio station, that I remember lying in bed one night the first time I saw that Standby Me, and sent it to our program director immediately. It's like, you have got to hear this. The treatment of that song, it's like through a grunge filter. It's got a little Latin flavor sprinkled on top. A song that's been around since 1962. And here, 60-some years later, you kind of did for it what Kurt Cobain did for music in general. Like, you took that song and just turned it on its head, as far as I can tell. I mean, of all the cover versions, I mean, even Cassius Clay, did you know he recorded that song?
I actually did not know that.
As a boxer, Cassius Clay recorded it. It sounds pretty good, too. You can find it out there, but it's been covered by so many, but never with the treatment that you gave it from that print shop session. And that iconic hat you're wearing. I mean, it's just everything. I mean, it just caught us completely. I couldn't share it with enough people when I came across it.
Well, thank you. If you'd have told me, like, going in some dude's basement in Marietta, Georgia, and singing a cover song that I just mainly sang in my living room for years, just to kind of help me deal with the passing of my father. It was like a hymn for me, and so it really wasn't a grand gesture at the time. It was just me playing a song that I'd just been playing in my living room for a long time.
And then I've heard, I guess I understand that playing it, when you do play it, it's sort of like you feel like you're resurrecting your dad.
Yeah,
when you play it.
I played it in this songwriters festival in Deadwood, South Dakota. That was the first time I ever really performed it in front of people and kind of saw it. It's what I call its effect, and because the song is like really well written and very simplistic on its own. It serves the story up itself. It doesn't need my help, But yeah, like when I sang it there, it felt like in the weirdest way. My dad had passed away 2 weeks prior to that experience, and I was like kind of just a shell of a man at that time, and I really had no business performing in front of people, but like, why not at that time? And so I decided to play that song, and it kind of started a revival in the room. I noticed it instantly, kind of having this very profound, uncanny effect on people.
Maybe, I mean, your presentation of the song in and of itself, but with all that emotion behind it, I guess. And maybe, I kind of wonder if you think your dad is pulling some strings from the other side.
Well, I don't know about that. But the only thing I do know for sure, it was he was very close, especially in that moment. And he's still very close. But in the weirdest way, he felt like a kid on my shoulders, and it was like a weird, like, reversal of roles, like that. I never could have seen coming. So because you always think of yourself on your father's shoulders, never the other way around, and so
that's pretty heavy.
Time for me to carry him. So
so it's like his passing has, I guess, as far as I've understood in reading and listening, that this has been like a pivotal moment. Everything's kind of changed. You were more of a songwriter behind the scenes prior. Now you are on big stages all over the place performing. But that's something I think you said was hilarious. You would have never imagined yourself getting on stage like you are now.
Yeah, it was not in the plans. If you want to make God laugh, tell him all about him. And right. I was just wanted to write songs for other people to sing, and it just I was pitching songs to artists for years. I just didn't know I was the artist. So I just was pitching them to the wrong people. So.
Well, things that seem to be lining up, that seems to be getting aligned now.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, my dad was a big believer in my artistry from me as a young boy. He saw a lot more in me than I ever saw in myself. So I'm just kind of bringing his visions to life, because he was always kind of breathing that into me, and I rejected it for a long time. And when he passed, I didn't have anybody to argue with anymore. So.
So there you go. Well, it seems like, as I said, things do seem to be aligning. It's certainly, you are already becoming a treasure on the music scene. Very distinct. Your guitar tuning, tell us a little bit about your guitar.
Yeah, I found this I bought this on Craigslist in a parking lot in Nashville. Some random guy met me literally in this weird van, and he had an amp that he plugged into a cigarette lighter, because the big thing is I play these things through an amp, and it needed to sound good. At the time I didn't have any money to put a pickup in it, and I wanted to start playing it through amps. So I was like, "Can you bring an amp or whatever?" And he brought one, and it sounded incredible from the first second I played it. I knew it was my forever guitar, and I really wasn't shopping for this specific model. I just somehow saw it, and it was in my price range, and I think it just showed up. And ever since then, I've yet to put it down. And this is what I started playing guitars on when I was a kid, and when I got super into, and I still am super into Al Di Meola and Paco de Lucia and Willie Nelson and all the classical guitar players that taught me more about guitar playing really than any rock and roll guitar player ever did. And because they made the guitar a drum, they made it more than just something that sustains a note. It became something very percussive. And other guitar players in addition, like Dave Matthews, etc., where they, because the guitar is just a drum with strings pulled across it. And so when I realized it was also a percussion instrument, it changed everything, because I think a lot about drums. So.
Yeah. Well, it's got an incredibly distinct sound, and so, as does your voice, and the two together is working.
Thank you very much.
It is working. We don't have a ton of time left, but real quickly, we were talking about the guitar and that initial Stand By Me session, the hat, the iconic hat that you were wearing. I see you don't have that one on today, but you still have Our Lady of Guadalupe in the guitar. I didn't realize that prior.
Yeah.
Tell us why you have her with you.
Well, I grew up very religious, kind of. I grew up in a Pentecostal Lutheran town, and used to see a lot of demon exorcisms and a lot of holy rolling, a lot of movements of the spirit, as they call them. And when I left my hometown, I went and got a science degree. It was the biggest middle finger I could give to my upbringing was a science degree, and I got one. And at that time, I kind of rejected all my religious upbringing at that point, and because I thought science was going to have all the answers, and then I just learned the hard way that science is just a tool. It's not an ideology or a paradigm. It's just like a chainsaw. If you use it right, it's great. If you use it wrong, cut your hand off. And so be careful with tools. And so I had to kind of start over. And then with this leap of faith of leaving a great job as a scientist to go write songs for nobody, for no money, I needed something bigger than me to believe in. And right around that time, I had these wild UFO experiences. I'm not saying they're aliens, they're just these things in the sky that I can't explain. And it was right around the time that I quit the job, and this is the first thing in the sky that we can't explain. And it's given me something bigger than me to believe in that many other people believe in. So that's the main thing. It's way bigger than me, and it's a constant reminder. I put it on my head, so I don't ever forget when I look in the mirror.
Well, amen.
Amen.
That seems to be working for you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, we can't thank you enough for taking some time. I think we've got a little bit more with you, but we'll take a little pause for a second and shift to get Lucas up here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right.
Whew.
That was great.
Oh, thank you. It's hard to sing in the morning, man.
I know.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Sure did.